Week 4 football is here. We've got the Lions and Packers on Thursday night football, previewing that primetime affair, plus a six-pack of our favorite games this week, including the two worst and maybe two of the best teams in the NFL. Coming at you right now on Peacock and Williamson.
NFL analyst Brian Peacock and former NFL scout Matt Williamson bring you expert NFL analysis every day in less than 30 minutes. Get an inside look into the NFL on the field and in the front office. With elite breakdowns, next-level analysis, and in-depth information only for the real NFL fans. This is Peacock and Williamson, and it starts now.
Welcome to the Peacock and Williamson NFL Show. Brian Peacock alongside Matt Williamson at BD Peacock at Williamson NFL. Thanks, everybody, for making us your first listen here on the LOCKEDON Podcast Network. Your team every day. Big ups to all the everydayers. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcasts. Slam that subscribe button for us. Today's episode of P&W is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use code, all lowercase, LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. All right. We're going to start our six-pack with a really good one here. Maybe the game of the week on Sunday, which is the Miami Dolphins, who just put up 70 points, won by 50 against the Broncos. More on them in a minute. Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills, Matt. And that team that put up 70 points last week is the underdog on the road. The Buffalo Bills favored by 3 points, Matt.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I mean, can a team like the Bills live in nickel, take away the big plays, tackle the football? I think this defense sets up reasonably well for the nightmare that Miami throws at you. But I do think the other side of the ball pretty much favors the Bills. I mean, is there an answer for Diggs? I think the best is yet to come for Josh Allen's season in Buffalo. It looks like Waddle's going to play. I just saw that. And I think the Bills win, but I'm not going to concede 3 points. I mean, I think this thing is 35-34 or something like
that. It seems kind of insane right now that the Dolphins aren't favored. So I want
against anyone,
yeah. And I have a feeling the line will creep down a little bit with more money coming in on the Dolphins because of what we've seen. But at the same time, this is going to be a completely different game than what we saw last week for the Miami Dolphins, because the Bills are going to be a much more prepared team. It's not 1,000,000% humidity. It's 62 degrees or whatever it's going to be. A nice autumn day in Orchard Park, New York, it looks like, for the Buffalo Bills, but it's at their place. It's not at the Miami Dolphins. It's a much better team and a team that's up to the challenge that, guess what? If you want to have a shootout, they can do that, and they can play a lot better defense than the Denver Broncos can. So I'm not sure about the Buffalo Bills being favored in this one. I think it should be about even, and I think it's going to be a popcorn game. It's going to be so much fun. So whoever's getting points is the one I'm going to take in this one, and I can't wait to see what the chess match looks like between Mike McDaniel and Sean McDermott.
Yep, and we talked about this yesterday. I mean, I think if you only see Tyreek in this offense every 3 years or so, I always thought the same thing was true with Lamar and the way that Baltimore played early in his career. The familiarity helps in this instance. You can't practice against his speed and whatnot, but if you've seen it 2 times a year, you're a little more prepared.
Yeah, and you should never be surprised when it's like home and home. Division opponents win, those games every year. And so we might see that. So that's why the line started on the Bills side, despite how hot the Dolphins 3-0 start is. But the Bills looking a lot better after that loss now at 2-1 as well. So powerhouse matchup here. Going to be a whole lot of fun. The over-under is high. It's 53.5 points, which I haven't looked at the rest of them, but I've got to guess that's the highest of the weekend. And yes, after checking, it's well above.
None are close.
Higher than the next closest. So yeah, could be a shootout and should be a heck of a lot of fun there in New York, in Buffalo, with the Dolphins and the Bills. I can't wait for that one.
No, it's going to be awesome. That's a great game. It's a pretty good slate all in all.
You know what, though? What a sneaky good game, because both teams are so bad, Matt, is the second part of our six-pack here, which is the Denver Broncos at the Chicago Bears. Someone's got to win a game here. And this game could go a long way to deciding who's going to have the number 1 pick in the 2024 NFL draft with the way these two teams are going. No teams have played worse this season than the Bears and the Broncos, and they're facing off on Sunday. 0-3 Broncos at 0-3 Bears, and it is the home dog Bears. Right now, Denver getting 3.5 points on the road against the Bears.
Ooh, I was looking at it the other way. I thought the Bears were the dog.
Yes,
No?
The Bears are the dog.
Okay. Maybe I misunderstood.
The Broncos are favored on the road at Chicago.
Gotcha. Okay. That would have made things easier. I think these are clearly the worst two teams in the league, but I also think when you get embarrassed like the Broncos did, NFL and professional teams rebound strong, and we can be down on Peyton, but I'm sure it's been a productive week, we'll say, in the Denver Bronco facility this week. And I think what Denver has, starting with coach and quarterback, is much easier. There's a much clearer path to them becoming a respectable team, not a Super Bowl team, than where the Bears are right now. I mean, the Bears have nothing going for them. I think Denver wins this thing by 6 or 7.
It's stupid by me, but I'm going to give them one more shot.
Oh, yeah.
Justin Fields, Matt Eberflus, Luke Getsy. I'm going to give you guys one more shot. Develop a chip on your shoulder. It sounded like Justin Fields had that chip last week. They lose their defensive coordinator. I mean, just all bad, all impossible things. I think smart money is on the Broncos, even giving up whatever points it is, 3.5. I'm going to go home dog here because that's what I do. And it's the last chance. It's the last chance for the Bears to show that they're going to be an NFL football team this year. And if not, they might go 0-17 and they'll have the first pick and who knows, maybe even the second pick in the NFL draft and a lot of changes to come. Some folks got to start saving their jobs. And, you know, maybe for the Broncos, that's true because nobody got fired after giving up 70 points on the defensive side of the ball. So this might be job saving time for some coaches here. I don't know if it's salvageable at all for the Bears. At least it is for the Broncos. Smart money, I admit, is on the Broncos. I might wait and see if the line creeps a little bit more and get as many points as possible for my home dog and see if the Bears can do a little something in this one. So, yeah, I don't know why, but I'm going to take the Bears and take the points. Not smart. I'm talking myself out of the Bears.
I say you're not real strong in your convictions here. Yeah.
It's funny because there's the two worst teams in the league, and I think the Bears have clearly been worse. Except for because look,
both sides of the ball.
As bad as it's it's a headline making score when it's 70-20, and you even needed some garbage points to get within 50 points of your opponent last week for the Broncos against the Dolphins. But the Chiefs against the Bears sat their starters in like the third quarter, right? And still won 41-10 or whatever. So it was almost as much of a beatdown. If not for the Dolphins putting up 70 points, we'd be talking about how bad it was for the Chicago Bears. And guess what? You can't fire a defensive coordinator because he just was relieved of his duties last week during the week anyway. So do they have anybody that can call a defense for them? You know what? I'm taking the Broncos. What am I doing? What am I doing?
You're not saying anything good about the Bears.
Yeah, give me the Broncos at 3.5. Lock it in now before it grows. Because,
if it wasn't for Taylor Swift, maybe we'd be talking about how bad the Bears are too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Everything. Dude, Matt Eberflus has to love. He had to go out and buy her entire catalog, Taylor Swift, for taking headlines away from how bad they are and what they did, and sending a gift basket to Mike McDaniel and Devin A-Chain and Raheem Mostert in that group in Miami for taking the headlines away with from what went on with the Bears last week, which is something I've never seen, and it's brutal. It's looking very, very bleak, that's for sure. But man, that Denver Broncos defense did not look good either. And if you can run for 8 touchdowns, can the Bears run for 3 touchdowns this week? You know what I mean? So I do like the home dog aspect of it, but. And you know what? For Bears fans' sake, I think I need to not take the Bears either. So I'm gonna go Broncos. I'm gonna give up 3.5 points. Take the Broncos. There we go. I flip flopped on it.
Me too. I just think they're more of a professional organization right now with good players. I mean, Bears don't have as good a roster.
It's hilarious to say that because they've been a disaster for 2 straight years now. All right, next we've got Steelers, Texans, we got Chiefs, Jets, Patriots, Cowboys, Bengals, Titans, and of course Thursday nighter, Lions at Packers picks coming up. Today's episode of Peacock Williamson is brought to you by Harry's. No matter why you shave, Harry's has you covered for the best shave of your life at a price you'll love. From their legendary high-quality razors to skin products like exfoliating face wash and hydrating lotion, Harry's gives you a premium shave without the premium price tag. And by the way, a smooth shave shouldn't be rough on your wallet. The starter set is a $13 value at Harry's for just $3 at harrys.com/NFL. It includes a 5-blade German-engineered razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover. Scheduled delivery for refills as low as $2, half of what you would pay for other blades. Harry's has tons of skincare products to go on your face as well to help you have the best shave ever, like creams, washes, lotions that'll keep your skin healthy and hydrated. So get your best shave ever with Harry's razors and skincare products. Get $13 starter set for just $3 at harrys.com/NFL. That's harrys.com/NFL for your shaving starter set. All right, moving on to the third of our weekly Sunday six-pack, and it is your Steelers, Matt, at the Houston Texans. The Texans getting the Texans are getting 3 points at home against those Steelers, and with the way the Texans played last week, I'm not sure they should be giving up points. But this is a 2-1 team going at a 1-2 team here. Are you feeling better about your Steelers after last week, or was that just a bad opponent in the Raiders?
Somewhere in between. Again, Houston. If you're a Houston fan out there, you should be very excited. You know, I think you have your coach. It sure looks like you have your quarterback. You got youth. You're going the right direction. So don't let me take this away from you in any way. But I think last week's win was as much about Jacksonville playing terrible as Houston getting better. Like, they got a kick block. They had a return for a touchdown. A lot of drops. I mean, Jacksonville is in a weird place right now. But Houston took advantage. So here's what I keep coming back to is in the first 2 weeks, Stroud was like the most pressured quarterback in the league, and he handled it well. He was sacked 11 times, and Jacksonville didn't come after him at all. 0 sacks. Again, I think that's on them. And they're playing with one starting offensive lineman in Houston. Well, TJ Watt's on pace for 34 sacks. I mean, like, the Steelers are going to hit Stroud and get to him. I think the Steelers win this game. I still have a lot of questions about Pittsburgh's offense, Pittsburgh's running game, but I think they're just much further along in their development, and this is a tough game for Houston.
I'm going to take that home dog, Matt.
I figured you would. Yeah, I hear you.
Let's get a field goal, an extra field goal here. I like, despite what's gone on up front with some of the injuries and stuff with the offensive line, I love how Stroud has handled it. And right now, I think Stroud is already a better football player than Kenny Pickett. They don't have the weapons that the Steelers have, and if TJ Watt's going to be in Stroud's lap all game long, then it's going to be a Steelers win, right? And we haven't seen that game from Stroud yet, which we're going to see from a rookie quarterback where he throws the ball to the other team, and he just hasn't done that yet. But man, anticipation and accuracy and some touch that he's shown as a rookie so early in his rookie season. I think D'Amico Ryan's doing a great job coaching him up on defense, and Bobby Slowick, the Shanahan tree coach, is doing a nice job on offense as well. So things looking up for the Texans here. I like them getting some points because I'm still not sure how good of a team the Steelers are, and they've looked bad 2 out of 3 games, and they're playing, I think, a team that's worse than the Texans and the Raiders last week. As bad as the Raiders look right now, it's like, man, I think Texans have more than the Raiders do. So I'm going to take the points. And I wanted to take the points for the Bears, but I ended up flip-flopping this one. And honestly, the more I think about this one, I think with just that TJ Watt angle and the pass rush, that's what's going to do it for the Steelers. But I'm going to take the points with the Texans here. I like what I saw from them last week. We'll see if we can keep it going.
Totally see it. Yeah, they have a little bit of momentum.
Now, this is one where I'm not going to take the home dog because you can't give the Jets enough points against the Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are at the New York Jets. Zach Wilson, presumably, is going to start unless they just throw Trevor Siemian in, off the street, which I don't think is going to happen. 9.5 points here. I know this one's not in Kansas City like it was with the beatdown last week of the Bears, 41-10, or whatever the final score was. I think it was 41-10. But this being not double digits seems wrong. This is a double-digit win for the Chiefs at the New York Jets. And I think we're going to see that New York Jets media start to get very, very uneasy with the whole situation. And according to some reports behind the scenes, maybe players already are a little upset behind the scenes, being like, dude, we were wearing T-shirts of the other quarterback last year, Mike White. Right. Zach Wilson doesn't have the locker room. And it sounds like, according to reports, some players on the roster and certainly fans, media, ex-players are like, what are you doing? You got to do something. I don't know what that is for the Jets to do. Maybe one more loss will be the thing that triggers some other kind of a move. But I hate what's going on in New York. Vibes are bad. Vibes are extremely high with pop stars in the stadium for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm giving up 9.5.
I couldn't agree more. I'm shocked this line is that low. And I agree with everything you said. And the thing I would like to add is the Jets D, kind of to no fault of their own. I mean, they're always on the field, but it's been noticeably worse than the Chiefs D. I didn't see that coming. I don't know where the Jets have an advantage in this game. I think Kansas City wins by 20.
Who's playing really good football is Justin Reed, the Chiefs safety. He's been all over the place, making plays, heady player, and love what I've seen there from the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. And not liking because it's affecting the defense too, and that's the strength of your team with the Jets, and they're not even playing as well. How about the New England Patriots at the Dallas Cowboys? The Cowboys are favored by 6.5 points at home against the Pats.
I think it's a really good line. We had a good Cowboys conversation yesterday. Did they beat? I mean, we just brought up the Jets. They beat two really bad teams, and they lost to what we think is still a bad team. At home, I think New England's really lacking firepower, but I think the New England plus points is going to be a Belichick theme this year. Keep things close. I'm still going to lay the points. I think Dallas wins by more than a touchdown, but I wouldn't touch this. I think it's a really good line.
When we did our power rankings check-in on Tuesday's show, Matt, there was the tier of badness, I think you called it, right?
There was a tier of like awfulness, and then there was like the tier of badness. Yeah.
Right. They haven't played the tier of awfulness, which is only the Bears and Broncos who are playing each other this week. Mm-hmm. But I think all three teams they have played are in the tier of badness, and that's the Giants, Jets, and Cardinals. And they lost to the Cardinals. They did a number on their division opponent in week one, Giants, 40-0. Sometimes you can call that week one game fluky, regular season, preseason game. So how impressive have they really been? I don't know. I don't even know how good of a team the Patriots are, though, either. So I don't know if this is the challenge that's going to really make me change my opinion of what the Dallas Cowboys are. But I think last week might be a wake-up call. And But the problem is I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. It needs to be a lot of defense on both sides of the ball. It needs to be low-scoring. I'm going to take the under. In fact, I don't even know what the under is. Let me take a quick peek at what it is right now. 43. I'm going to take the under on that, which means, and I think money's probably going to come in on the Cowboys because it kind of tends to anyway. And so if later on in the week it grows to a touchdown, I'm definitely going to take the points here just because I think it's going to be a low-scoring game and someone wins by 3-4 points.
Okay. I get it. I'm kind of expecting a Cowboy rebound, but maybe they were a paper champion.
And they should be a better team, but again, let's see it, Cowboys. That's let's see it. And Dak better not start slipping into his 2022 ways and start throwing the ball to the other team. All right, next we've got the Bengals at Titans, the final game of our 6-pack, and of course, Lions at Packers, Thursday nighter next. Today's episode of Peacock and Williamson brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100 and to have more fun than anything you will do this season at Prize Picks, winning up to 25 times your money, by the way, this football season. Picking 2 or more players. All you do is you pick 2 players to 6 players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry and win up to 25 times your money. You can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. And Prize Picks is really just that simple. You can make picks in less than 60 seconds with a couple of taps. And you can choose the more or less than on tons of stat lines for you. Do you think it's going to be a big Kenny Pickett week? A big, by the way, I loved what I've seen from the development in year 2 of your guy George Pickens. Man, I might pick the more than on George Pickens right now because he's showing to be more than just a jump ball guy in year 2. So there's my advice there for your prize picks this week against that Houston Texans team. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use code LockedOnNFL for your first deposit match up to $100. Again, that is prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL, or download the app and use promo code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. All right, the final game in our Sunday six-pack is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans, Matt. And the Titans are getting 2.5 points here. So the Bengals on the road, despite how weird they have looked to start the year, they are the favorites by 2.5 points at the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I'm taking Cincinnati, but reluctantly. I'm a little upset with myself that I'm avoiding some of these home dogs and you're pouncing all over them. And I'm a believer that home dogs are a great way to spend your money. But Tennessee's O-line versus the Bengals front, to me, which was really good the other night, short week on the road too, now I think about it, is why I'm going with Cincy. I mean, nobody runs on Tennessee. I don't think Mixon does much of anything. But I don't know how they cover Chase and Higgins either. So even if Burrow's far from himself, I think the Bengals passing game will do enough, and the Bengals D should control the whole flow of things.
I'm with you on that one. It's not enough points for the home dog, and there are some ugly home dogs this week, which makes it a little bit more difficult. But they're dogs for a reason, Matt. But this one's not quite enough, and I think the Bengals are a better team. Even on Monday night, they played better than what the final score looked. A couple Higgins drops, and he's not the type of guy to do that. I love the rapport and sort of getting going with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow there. So give me the Cincinnati Bengals on this one. The 2.5 points isn't enough to talk me out of it because it's not like the Titans have been a juggernaut this year either. And might be more of an ugly, low scoring affair like it was on Monday for the Bengals, but I still do like the Bengals to win this one by a field goal. And a great quote today actually by the offensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals and Brian Callahan. So he was asked about Joe Burrow and the health of his calf, and this is what Brian Callahan said about it. He said, quote, "To put blame on Joe not being fully healthy is a cop-out. You can't use those things as a crutch." And I love that. And like the mentality of the Bengals right now is he's playing, so he's fine to play. And he should play well, and we expect him to be Joe Burrow because he's on the field. We wouldn't put him on the field otherwise. And so I like that. And I like that mentality coming into this week for the Bengals.
And I think that's his mentality too. No excuses. I mean, Burrow's a tough guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's played through numerous injuries in his career. And so he'll probably just learn to play on his injured calf better, right, as he goes. Yeah. And hopefully it's getting healthier. And, he didn't hurt it anymore last week, which is a good sign. So, things looking up a little bit more for the Bengals. They needed that win last week. Let's see if they can keep it going against the Tennessee Titans. That brings us to the final game of this episode after our six-pack is now in the books, and that is Thursday Night Football. It's the Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers, and the Lions on the road favored by 1.5 points.
A lot of injuries. I wish I was a little clearer on who's playing, who's not. Some O-line injuries, Bakhtiari. We know Jones and Watson have been out for Green Bay. That's looking promising. Last I saw, though,
they play on grass in Green Bay, right? So Bakhtiari is going to play. Is that how that works?
I think that's how it works. I mean,
he tried to keep that down. He said that's not really what's going on, but we'll see.
Short week, divisional game. I'm taking the points here. What I think is going to be a close game. Love's playing well. Talked about that yesterday. I think it's going to be a fun game, though. I really am looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I can't wait for this one. This should be a lot of fun. I think we'll learn a lot about both these teams. But, on a short week, on a Thursday we talked yesterday about how impressive Jordan Love has been, and maybe some of the numbers are misleading. Give me the Packers easily if I'm getting points for a home team that I think is very evenly matched with the team that's visiting on a Thursday short week game. Rivalry game. I'm absolutely give me the Green Bay Packers here. This is an easy one for me.
Yeah, I hear you. I think I'm leaning that way stronger and stronger as I think
it's only 1.5 points, but it's still a point.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a
well,
point.
It matters, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait though, because the how do you feel about, we haven't talked a lot about the Lions now. I love what I've seen from the Lions 2 second-round picks. They've been awesome.
Oh, Branch is a star, isn't he?
I mean, Branch makes plays. He's such a heady player. He was a first-round guy all day. I don't know how he fell into the second round. Maybe teams overthought that one because it wasn't, he wasn't that crazy height, weight, speed package that some teams want if you're going to draft a first-round safety. But love the way he plays. And Laporta is the real deal, man. Block, catch. I thought he'd be closer to a third rounder than a second rounder, even though I liked him a lot. I was even kind of crossing my fingers, hoping he would be George Kittle part 2 and slip to the 49ers in the third round. But he didn't sniff it. He went early second round. And there's a good reason why. He's been the best rookie tight end so far this year in the NFL. And he's a complete player, and he's shown a little bit of everything. It's been a nice fit for that Lions offense. So I loved what I've seen there. You got to see more gives, right? And
I would think, yeah,
and have a more opportunity for big plays with him. But Jared Goff doing what he did last year too, and
solid, yeah,
rock solid.
Lions D looks noticeably better. Was very impressive last week. I mean,
they look a lot like they did in the second half of last year.
Yeah,
instead of just one of the worst defenses in the league the first half last year.
Yeah, and back to Laporta. Like in the fantasy wasteland, that's the tight end position right now. Like, I may only start 5 tight ends over him. I mean, he's easily an every week starter.
Yeah, I mentioned him being George Kittle part 2, but George Kittle has so much competition for touches, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if Laporta gets as many targets as George Kittle on a weekly basis right now. And he's a very similar guy. He went to college. He's a good blocker, so there's not reasons to take him out of the game. Can flex him out, can run routes. He's athletic. I love everything I've seen from Laporta so far.
Absolutely. So the Lions are a fun team. That's going to be a really good Thursday nighter.
Absolutely. Should be fun. That is the 6-pack plus 1, the Thursday nighter. It is the Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. And I'm going to have my popcorn ready for that one. And of course, we'll make all the rest of our picks for the rest of the week 4 now. Man, the season goes so fast. The week 4 games on Friday's episode, including the Monday nighters. We'll talk to you then right here, Peacock and Williamson.